The twins were barefoot. Mud clung to their pajamas like it had been waiting all night to find them. One held a limp teddy bear by its ear, its stuffing trailing like smoke. Their mother stood behind them, soaked through, arms around both girls, as if the wind might take them next. Her face bruised, split at the lip, was not pleading. It was beyond that, hollowed. The kind of face that had been told no too many times to ask again. He opened the door without a word. The storm behind them swelled, thunder cracking low like a warning. But he only stepped aside, one hand on the doorframe. The porch light buzzed overhead. She hesitated, then stepped in. The man's boy, asleep on a faded couch pillow in the living room, didn't stir. The woman looked down at him, at the fraying edges of the quilt, at the walls with fingerprints on them, and said nothing. The door closed behind them with a soft, final click. The house was small. 2 bedrooms and a kitchen that smelled of old pine cabinets and black coffee left too long on the burner. The heater groaned when it kicked in, coughing dust into the air. Rain drummed on the roof. The living room window trembled with each gust of wind. He brought her a towel. The girls stood silently by the doorway, watching. The teddy bear drooped in one's arms, like it knew better than to hope. "You can have the room," he said, his voice rough with sleep and distance. "Me and him will take the couch." She nodded. That was all. Not thanks. Not apology. Just a nod, like it was too soon to believe in anything else. In the dark, he set up a mattress beside the couch. His boy shifted in sleep, turning toward the wall. He watched his son for a long time, the steady rise and fall of his breath. From the hallway, he heard the soft clatter of a doorknob turning. Then nothing. In the morning, the girls sat at the kitchen table, knees drawn up to their chests, toes still dirty. The woman stood by the window, arms wrapped around herself, watching the trees sway. He fried eggs, toasted bread. The toaster only worked if you held the lever down. "You want coffee?" he asked. She nodded. The kitchen was quiet, except for the pop of grease and the rustle of branches outside. One of the girls reached a finger toward a jam jar. He pushed it closer. She didn't speak, but she smiled, just a twitch of her cheek. The mother blinked once, turned away from the window. It wasn't a house meant for more than 2. The girls slept curled together under the window, the teddy bear between them. The woman took the bed. She made it each morning, corners tight, as if that small order might keep the rest from unraveling. They didn't talk much. Just gestures, nods. A shoulder turned slightly to make room at the sink. He left the hammer out when the door hinge creaked. She scrubbed the stove without being asked. He noticed the way she flinched when boots hit the porch too hard. How her hands clenched when the phone rang. So he didn't ask questions. Didn't offer stories. Just kept the coffee warm, made space where he could. His son didn't ask either. Kids have a way of reading silence and deciding what's safe to hold. One afternoon, the girls were in the yard. Rain had dried into soft earth. They traced lines in the mud with sticks, made rivers, islands, dams. One of them laughed brief, surprised, like it had slipped out by accident. The man was fixing the porch rail. The mother stepped outside, wiping her hands on a dish towel. He didn't look up. "They've never had a yard before," she said, voice low, unused. He nodded, driving the nail in slowly. Later, she brought him a glass of water. Sat down on the step, close but not touching. "I didn't think anyone would open the door," she said. He didn't reply. The hammer rested beside him, still warm from his hand. Fall came. The trees turned brittle at the edges. The heater protested the chill with its usual complaints. The girls started helping with dishes. The mother mended the boy's jacket without asking. When the wind howled, she no longer tensed. When the man handed her a cup of tea, she didn't flinch at the brush of fingers. One evening, the boy came in crying, arms scraped. He'd tripped on the gravel road chasing a kite. The woman knelt, wiping the dirt away with her sleeve. "You're all right," she said, her voice softer than he'd ever heard it. Her hands steady. She kissed his temple. The boy blinked up at her, then leaned in just slightly, the way children do when they trust what they don't yet understand. The first snow was light, just a whisper on the rooftops. The girls pressed their hands to the window, watching it fall. The woman stood behind them, her arms around both. The man brought in more firewood, boots heavy with snow. He paused at the door, watching the three of them silhouetted against the soft white morning. The boy reached for the mother's hand as he passed. She took it. She looked up, met the man's gaze. No words. Just that. A moment held, quiet and full. The kettle whistled in the kitchen, and for the first time she smiled.